Yesterday I talked to Adam Rogers, a good friend of mine, guitar player,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about something. And Adam said something really interesting. He says, like, after doing it for so long, I still can't figure this thing out. Sometimes I sound great and I feel great. Sometimes I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so it's, I don't know what it is. It's just this kind of mystical thing that's happening. Like I would think that even somebody like Herbie or Chick or people like that are on, let's say they're on the zone all the time,
Right.
that's where we want to get to. We always want to be in the zone. I think they probably have off nights too. They just, an off night for Herbie or Chick is not the same as an off night for me. I don't know. It's like, it's I think the key about this whole thing is you want to be in the zone, and being in the zone meaning a lot of different things, but I think it's basically meaning that you relax enough and everything around you just works well enough that everything you think about or you feel just come through when you play. Am I
Yeah.
right about this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we've actually done, we don't have like a tremendous amount of data on this, but recently we have a lot more than we used to
Yeah.
about what the neurological activity is of a person who's in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've found is that it is very related to brainwave states and the
Makes sense.
particular. What was that?
I'm saying it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So the wave state in question is called the alpha state, and as a matter of fact, I've heard from other musicians decades prior, like even some things that I actually heard this from Chris Potter, and Chris Potter said that Stan Getz would talk about this, is the alpha zone, the alpha state, and that's like that brainwave state where it's just the neurological response of the body is just in tune with precisely what is going on in that moment, and a lot of kind of weird, like, you dare I say, magical things are happening when you're in that state. You're receiving information clear, you're thinking clear, your heart rate goes down, your body temperature stabilizes. It's like this really
But
crazy powerful phenomena.
but I think that's only a part of it. I think that's half of it. I think the other half is the stuff that you have no control over, or you don't have much control over, meaning the environment that you're at, meaning the club that you play or the room that you play at, the people that are in front of you or not in front of you, and also your sound, which is your voice. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, that's as important because that makes a huge effect. Like, how many times did you play a gig and your sound sucked and you couldn't play well because of that? Or how many
Yeah.
times you play a gig where the room sound sucks and because of that you couldn't play? So I think that's one part of it, and then there's the other part of it that's more technical, but I think it's as important in a way, you know?
Oh yeah,
To
for
me
Yeah.
sure.
at least, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's, especially if you go, I had these talks a lot with Adam where we talk about, the idea of, actually, I used to have talks about it with Stern also, because when you go in a studio and record, whatever you hear in the headphones, it's completely unrealistic to how you used to hear in guitar.
Right.
We don't hear guitar that way. I
Mm-hmm.
know for a fact that there's are some well-known guitar players that will not record with headphones. They're either going to be on in a control room or had their amps around them because
Yeah.
they can't play with the headphones thing. So that perception of sound for guitar is a big deal. And what I think about it is when you cut off the air from guitar, it basically kind of messes up everything. Like if you're a saxophone player or horn player, the way you project sound is you put air out. With guitar, the air is the volume that goes between the guitar pickups and the amp.
Mm-hmm.
Once you move the amp, or you don't hear the air coming out of the amp into your ears, and you hear it through this little,
Mm-hmm.
like headphones and stuff like that. That makes things a lot more challenging. It's like somebody cut
Yeah.
the air out of a saxophone player.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with that zone too.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I
Yeah.
mean, I can't tell. I mean, like you said, I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah.
I've been just like mind effed because I'm like, this is not what I want to sound like right now, and I'm being. Imagine if you were a singer and you had like a choker on you the whole time or something. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how it can feel like sometimes.
Yeah. You know,
Childhood.
I got to tell you something interesting. If we're already on it, I'm a part of this group that happens every when the pandemic started. It's actually kind of a secretive thing, but it's not that secretive. But when the pandemic started, UA Universal Audio started to do this inside group of it's just like a Zoom meeting with a bunch of Universal people, guys, and my good friend James Santiago. That's the guy that designed the aux, the Universal aux, and
Cool.
he's the head of the guitar thing.
Whoa.
He started this Zoom group, and it grew a lot. Like, and it's a lot of guitar players. So the one of the sessions, I was on it. Steve Vai was on it. Dweezil Zappa was on it. John Shanks was on it. James and a bunch of other people, and we started to get into this really deep conversation. We got into this whole thing about the zone, and I saw Steve was writing something on a piece of paper, and I was like, "What are you writing?" He like everybody was kind of saying like, "What do you need to be to get into the zone?" And there was about like 5 things that that happened, and I'll try to remember them. I don't know if I can, but you have to be relaxed. You have to trust the people or the environment around you. What else was there? I actually have it in a somebody made an artwork with it for me. So I read it again. Yeah, this is what it is. Don't think, relax, listen, trust, and appreciate.
Yeah.
So and I saw Steve was writing it as a piece of paper. I was like, what? So I ended up writing it, and I made like a artwork out of it. It's in my it's my
That's
on a
sweet.
wall in my kitchen.
I'm gonna use that tonight and try
It's
and think
great.
about that.
Because we kind of figure out those are the 5 things that everybody agreed that kind of gets you into the zone.
Are you tired of the government trying to calcify your pineal gland and turn you into nothing more than a working zombie? Look no further, because the Houston Ensemble has now been sponsored by the amazing Epic water filters. Tell us what they do, Armin.
Epic water filter is the only true filtration system you need. All these other filtration systems skip out on so many terrible chemicals and minerals that are still in your water and that you should not be drinking.
Fluoride, chromium, lead, all these other things that you do not want in your water. We've got water bottles with filters on them. We've got home installation filters. We've even got pitchers. Right now you can get 20% off any of these items on epicwaterfilters.com if you use our discount code Houston Ensemble, all lowercase, one word.
That's Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word, for 20% off your Epic water filter.